Well, the war in Gaza is casting a shadow over the Eurovision Song Contest, which is being held in Sweden this year. Israel's reached the final with a song performed by Eden Golan. She received claps, cheers and some boos when she took to the stage in Malmö. Earlier, thousands of people protested in the city against Israel's involvement. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wished her success, saying that she'd already succeeded against what he described as an ugly wave of anti-Semitism. Well, I've been speaking to our correspondent Sarah Rainsford about the security in Malmö.
There are a lot of police here, and certainly we've seen mounted police, we've seen drones in the sky last night, there's the occasional helicopter overhead as well, and a lot of police on the ground. But speaking to police officers here, the mood is pretty relaxed in actual fact. You know, there are a lot of them, they're definitely being vigilant. We know that the terror threat in Sweden as a whole is pretty high at the moment. But in terms of policing the protests, the authorities are trying to keep this as calm and as peaceful as possible. They have community police officers, they call them the dialogue police here. They are right along the route of any of the protests, and the mood has been peaceful, although the mood of the protesters themselves is passionate too. They are angry that Israel has been allowed to take part in Eurovision this year at a time when the Israeli military is bombing Gaza, at a time of humanitarian crisis, and the slogans and the chants are pretty furious. So the mood is strong, the crowds are growing. There were probably 10,000 or so protesters there according to police yesterday, although some quotes and estimates are a bit higher than that. But as I say, it has been peaceful, it has been contained. All of this is organised and planned in advance with the authorities. We haven't seen any spontaneous protests of any particular size. So I wouldn't say it was tense here, but I would say that there are plenty of people who want to make their views heard, and that view that Eden Golan, Israel, should not be at Eurovision, particularly talking about what they call hypocrisy, because of course Russia has been banned from Eurovision because of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and lots of people at the protest will mention that when they tell you why they've come out to protest. I should just mention as well, perhaps Sweden's most famous political activist was also in the crowd of protesters yesterday. I had a quick chat to her, Greta Thunberg. She told me it was her moral obligation to speak out. She was joining the protest, she said, because she considered it inexcusable for Israel to be taking part in Eurovision whilst the bombing of Gaza continues.
And away from, of course, the headlines around the war, just tell us what we can expect when it comes to the contest in other areas.
Well, in actual fact, the Israeli performer Eden Golan has been becoming far more popular with the audiences. She's climbed up the list of favourites, so she's pretty high up now. There's also an act from Croatia by a band called Baby Lasagna, who talk something about cows and something about cats. It's a pretty mystifying act. There is the usual kind of dizzying array of crazy costumes, crazy lyrics. It is Eurovision as usual at the party venue itself, at the arena. But as I say, here in town, it's all about the protests. There are more protests planned, of course, now that Israel has made it to the big final on Saturday night.
And of course, we'll have full coverage from Malmö throughout the day. My colleague Mariam Mashiri will be live there later.